Hey guys, Kelsey from Primetime Painting here, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Green Stuff World Leaf Punch. So the best thing I've found to use with the punch is these natural coffee filters. I found these at Target, but they're available at pretty much any grocery store. This is what they look like out of the package. Now don't yell at me, but I'm going to be using Citadel Washes to color my leaves. Don't worry though, you can use a cheaper wash or even watered down paints to get the same effect. I'm going to be making the brown leaves in this video, but here are some other combinations you can make. You'll also need some aluminum foil and wax paper for the punch. I'm using a glass dish so the wash doesn't stain it and I can wash it off easily later. Just rip that coffee filter in half and then run it under some tap water, then squeeze the excess water out so it's just damp, not wet. This will help the wash disperse itself into the coffee filter. I'm just dropping some washes on with a dropper, but you could use a paintbrush or whatever you have lying around. The wash isn't going to completely penetrate through the coffee filter, so the backside will be a lighter brown, but since I'm already doing a brown leaf, this wouldn't matter. If you are doing like a green leaf that you want all green, I would suggest flipping it over and putting wash on the other side as well. Once I've got all my colors on there, I'm just using my finger to mix them in and then bunching up the filter a little bit. This will give you like a tie-dye effect, so some areas will be lighter and some areas will be darker where the wash settles, and it'll give you a nice mix of colors. And just doing the same thing to the second half, dripping on the same exact colors, and gonna mix them in exactly the same way as I did before, and then crumple it up. You can wait for these to air dry on their own, but it will take hours, so I'm going to use a hairdryer to speed up the process. You can use the highest setting since it's not a mini and you don't have to worry about it warping, and hopefully you don't have to worry about it catching on fire either, but I think that's up to you and your abilities. So if you're a kid, maybe get some adult supervision if you think you need it, and don't blame me if you burn your house down. All in all, I think it took me about 4 minutes to dry these out. Make sure you move them around every once in a while so they don't glue themselves to the glass with the wash, but even if they do, really no big deal. Also flip them upside down and get the back. This is what I was talking about with the back not being completely dyed, but it works with what I'm going for since it's all brown. You can also see what I was talking about with that tie-dye effect here, with those creases. The wash kind of sticks to itself when it's wet and half dry, so it pulls itself away from the coffee filter, but when it's dry, it's all gonna stick, don't worry about it. Make sure they are completely dry before you move on to the next step. Alright kids, grab some scissors, your punch, and some wax paper and tinfoil. Pro tip, use a bigger container than I did. This one is not big enough. I'm going to use my scissors and cut off this hard edge where it was glued together. It's too difficult to punch through, so just cut it off now. And we are ready to start punching. This is pretty self-explanatory, just punch. Voila, your 4 perfect little leaves. Now just do that a million more times. I like to go over the same spot a few times just so you get some broken leaves and little pieces as well as perfect ones, but if that's not your style, it's okay to just make them all perfect. Once you've finished a row, just cut off the excess so you can get to the next clean edge. When I first got this punch, I was so excited to use it that I made about 8 coffee filters worth in one day. That's all the colored leaves that were at the start of this video. And I swear my thumb almost fell off. It hurts after a while. So don't be over ambitious like I was and maybe do like 2 coffee filters at a time max unless you have really strong thumbs, because it hurts when you do this for a couple hours. Believe me, you will thank me later. At about this point, you start wondering why you didn't just buy a bag of stupid leaves instead of deciding to make them all yourself, but they do look really cool and you save a ton of money doing it. Plus, I like having all these little hobby accessories. They're kind of fun. Just throw some Netflix on. Keep doing this until your thumb hurts. You can always make more later. This is where that tin foil and wax paper comes in handy. When you feel the punch isn't cutting as well as it used to, just punch through some tin foil a couple times to sharpen the punch, and then again through the wax paper to lubricate it. And then it's good as new. Since the coffee filters are a lot thicker than printer paper, this is pretty hard on the punch, so you will need to do this every couple of rows. but the coffee filters do have like a cool texture and they look a lot better in the end than paper would, plus paper wouldn't hold up as well over time. Also, avoid the temptation to use natural leaves for this. The color fades and they can even start to crumble, so they are not an ideal material. Just when you thought it would never end, you're done! And you've got a nice pile of leaves to replenish your stock. I'll leave you with some pictures of minis I've painted with some leaves on the vases. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon!